When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. He said the same thing to he said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is going to do anything with y'all. No business at all. It ain't going to be no artist, no nothing going to come. He's telling people that at a radio station. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly at a new station.
What happens when the most outspoken voice in hip-hop radio clashes with one of the most powerful men in the music business? In the late 1990s, Wendy Williams built her name by saying what others wouldn't. Diddy, then still known as Puff Daddy, was the industry's golden boy, shaping the sound of rap and R&B. Their paths were bound to cross, and when they did, the fallout changed urban radio forever. Let's unpack how a few radio segments turned into one of entertainment's longest-running grudges, and why this story still echoes today.
A very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
Right, it was the Diddy situation.
Before Wendy Williams was a TV personality, she ruled New York radio. Her mix of gossip, humor, and fearless interviews made her the first major DJ to treat hip-hop like Hollywood, complete with scandals, rumors, and rivalries. At the same time, Sean Combs was redefining hip-hop luxury through Bad Boy Records. He'd turned artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans into global stars and had become a celebrity himself. For years, radio and record labels maintained a polite distance. Everyone needed each other. Wendy broke that rule. Her listeners expected her to ask the questions everyone else avoided, and she did, especially when it came to Diddy's personal life and business moves. Those on-air comments planted the seeds of a feud that would simmer for decades. In the mid-1990s, Wendy began hinting on her show that some powerful people in music weren't who they appeared to be. Listeners hung on every word. Industry insiders, not so much. Multiple executives later confirmed that calls were made behind the scenes asking stations to tone down the gossip. Bad Boy Records was one of radio's biggest content suppliers, so any tension with its founder could have real consequences. Before long, rumors spread that Diddy was unhappy with Wendy's commentary and had made it known that future cooperation with the station might depend on how they handled the situation. Whether or not those calls came directly from him, the message was clear. Wendy Williams had crossed an invisible line. Soon after, she was off the station's schedule, a move that shocked fans and cemented her legend as the host who said too much.
So Cassie's in South Africa filming Honey 3. And she allegedly has been avoiding Puffy. And, you know, my thing about when you date a mogul is that it's really difficult to avoid them because if you use your head, you never know when they're going to pop up on the scene. Like he's mogul, like he can hire a plane right now, zoom it to South Africa, land on the roof of the hotel where she's staying, okay? Pay people off at the front desk, give me the key and let me up in her room. Like I'm already paranoid.
Being forced out of New York could have ended Wendy's career. Instead, she used it as fuel. She relocated to Philadelphia, brought her trademark honesty with her, and built an even bigger following. Every slight became part of her on-air persona. The woman who couldn't be silenced. Listeners admired her bravery. To them, she was proof that you didn't need label approval to tell the truth. Diddy, meanwhile, kept climbing. He launched clothing lines, expanded Bad Boy's reach, and rebranded himself as P. Diddy, a global mogul whose influence went far beyond music. Two unstoppable personalities, both thriving, both aware of the other's existence. It was only a matter of time before their stories overlapped again. By the early 2000s, the music world had changed. Hip-hop was mainstream, and Wendy Williams was now a syndicated voice with millions of listeners. She didn't hold grudges on air, but she never forgot either. When Diddy appeared in headlines, new ventures, award shows, relationships, Wendy often added a sharp aside that reminded audiences of their complicated history. It wasn't cruelty, it was theater. Her show thrived on the idea that no one, not even Diddy, was above criticism, and that stance helped usher in today's celebrity gossip ecosystem, where podcasts and YouTube channels analyze every celebrity move with the same mix of admiration and skepticism that Wendy pioneered. When Wendy launched The Wendy Williams Show in 2008, many wondered if her old rivalries would follow her onto television. For years, she avoided direct contact with Diddy, but in 2017, he appeared as a guest, a surprise that instantly went viral. On camera, both were professional, even complimentary. Diddy praised her influence. Wendy thanked him for coming. Yet viewers noticed the tension underneath the smiles. For longtime fans, the segment symbolized closure, two media titans acknowledging each other's place in history. Behind that politeness lay decades of pride, competition, and mutual recognition. Wendy's questions had helped shape Diddy's public image, and Diddy's reactions had, in turn, elevated Wendy's reputation as the interviewer unafraid of anyone. The Diddy-Wendy feud wasn't just personal, it was a case study in how media ecosystems work. In the 90s, record labels controlled distribution, and radio needed their exclusives. By challenging that balance, Wendy inadvertently showed how fragile media independence could be. When her stories vanished from certain airwaves, fans saw firsthand what influence looked like. 2 decades later, social media flipped the script again. Independent creators could now question celebrities without needing label access, essentially continuing what Wendy started. Ironically, the very culture that once tried to push her out had evolved into a world where her style became the norm. Every time new controversies emerge in entertainment, Wendy's old clash with Diddy resurfaces as shorthand for speaking truth to power. It's retold not because of scandal, but because it marked a turning point. The moment gossip became journalism, and radio personalities became cultural commentators. Even those who criticized Wendy for her bluntness admit she changed how celebrity news is delivered. And Diddy, regardless of how he felt about her commentary, helped define the environment that made her famous. Their rivalry forced both audiences and artists to think about who controls a story once it's public. Despite their rocky history, both figures have acknowledged each other's impact. Wendy has often credited Diddy for shaping hip-hop's business mindset, and Diddy has publicly saluted Wendy's longevity. That kind of mutual recognition doesn't erase the past, but it reframes it. What began as hostility evolved into something closer to professional respect, a grudging understanding between two pioneers who learned, in their own ways, how to navigate fame, scrutiny, and survival. And that's the fascinating twist. The feud that once seemed destructive ultimately highlighted how both mastered the same art, controlling the narrative. So, what's the takeaway from the Diddy-Wendy Williams saga? That power in entertainment isn't just about money or fame, it's about who tells the story. Wendy built her empire by talking. Diddy built his by being talked about. In that sense, their feud was never just personal. It was a collision between two forms of influence that defined an era. Today, when a podcast host challenges a superstar or a YouTuber dissects a celebrity scandal, that dynamic traces back to moments like these. The mogul and the mic check queen proved that the battle for narrative control can make or break careers, but it can also push culture forward. And that's why, decades later, we're still talking about it. If you've ever wondered how much power a single voice can hold in pop culture, just remember Wendy Williams and Diddy. Their feud was messy, iconic, and oddly inspirational. Drop a comment below. Do you think media voices today still have that same courage? Or has the industry learned how to keep them quiet? Drop your thoughts below, keep it respectful, and if you love a deep dive into celebrity drama, hit that like, tap subscribe, and stay tuned.